Uh, Thank you for tuning into the webinar today. I think I'm going to make it worth your while, especially if you're interested in the Social Security spousal benefit. Hey, but before I do that, I thought I'd give you a little bit of background about myself. My name is Brian Doherty. I've been in financial services for 35 years, more than that actually. That's a lot of time. Makes me feel old, but I started off as a financial advisor and then did a number of different things, got into management. I became president and CEO of Key Investments, a subsidiary of Key Bank, which is a pretty big size regional bank. Uh, I also worked at New York Life on the investment side and became national sales manager for their retirement income division. Um, and I left New York Life in 2010. But and then for the last 13 years, I've been traveling all around the country speaking exclusively on the topic of Social Security. And I've probably presented to, I estimate, this is a pretty good estimate, over 80,000 people. And but one of the things I did, what spurred me to get into Social Security, because for most of my life, most of my career, I didn't know anything about it, and didn't think it was going to be that important to me or other people. But boy, was I wrong. And my last couple of years at New York Life, I went all around the country training financial advisors, so like some of the biggest firms, the Merrill Lynch's, the Morgan Stanley's, the Wells Fargo's, the UBS's, and training them on retirement income planning. Now, this was probably 2008, 2009 when I started doing this, and at the time it was, it wasn't totally new, but it was fairly new. But it was at the same time that the massive baby boomers started to retire, and when that happens, you want an income plan so you have enough money to pay your bills and enjoy your life. So anyway, I would do this training, and a lot of the people that were having a retirement income plan done hadn't retired yet. They're getting ready for it, and they hadn't claimed Social Security yet. Well, one of the first pieces of information it asks you in a retirement income plan, it's usually a piece of software you put, you punch in the stuff, was what's your Social Security income? Well, people hadn't claimed it yet. And the income varies based on when you claim. If you claim at 62, it's the smallest check. If you claim it's 66 or 67, your full retirement age, it's bigger. And if you wait till age 70, it's the biggest yet. So I started playing around with different levels of Social Security income, and I realized in that retirement income plan, it had a significant positive impact, especially if you had assets and savings. It made help make those assets and savings last a lot longer in retirement, hopefully as long as you live, if not longer, so you can leave some money to your kids or whatever. And I got to be honest with you, 2008, 2009, I didn't know anything about Social Security. So I decided to educate myself. And from the moment I did, I was blown away. I had no idea Social Security worked the way it did and allowed people to do the things it allows them to do, had all these great features and benefits. And I also realized that hardly anybody else knows this stuff, because I'd go to all these big national meetings and conferences and stuff, and they have all these outside speakers, and none of them at the time talked about Social Security. So I decided I'm going to try to educate as many people as I can. I'm going to write a book on this, which I did. I never wrote a book before. I thought it would take me 6 months. It took me 5 years. And when I finally got it published, I didn't know if it was any good. I thought it was, but I was biased because I wrote the book. Well, it turns out my publisher told me that when the book came out, it won the International Book Award as the best business personal finance book of that year. There were over 1,000 entries from 15 different countries, and my book finished #1. Not only that, it also won the Eric Hoffer Award as one of the best business personal finance books that year. And what I'm going to do, I got a section in there, a chapter on the spousal benefit, and I'm going to share that information from the book with you here today. The spousal benefit is just one of those things that it's like a gift to married couples if you're qualified to claim a spousal benefit, and even divorced spouses. Now, so if you go to a Social Security website, they'll tell you, now they send out millions of spousal benefit checks every month, and 90% of them go to women. There's a reason for that, and I'm going to have another webinar next week on why Social Security is a much bigger issue for women. So all the women on the call, first of all, if anybody's going to get a spousal benefit check, it's probably you. And I would strongly encourage you to tune in next week because I'm going to share with you some things that every woman should know about Social Security, especially before they claim their benefits. And if there's guys on the call and you want to tune into that too, please do, because you probably should know this stuff too. So going forward, I'm going to assume if I talk about a married couple, it's the wife that's going to claim the spousal benefit, because again, 90% of spousal benefit checks are sent to women, and the husband has the bigger benefit. But this is really a great feature from Social Security, and I consider it somewhat of a gift. And I think when you get done, you'll feel the same way when I finish the webinar. So let me get started here. So some people, actually a lot of people kind of know that one spouse is entitled to 50% of the other spouse's work history benefit at full retirement age. That 50% figure, I hear it a lot, and it's true. You can get up to 50%, say a wife can get up to 50% of her husband's full retirement age benefit amount, but only if she waits to claim at her full retirement age. If she claims before that, she gets less than that. And there's a number of different nuances to the spousal benefit and how and when you claim it and the impact it has on the size of the spousal benefit you're going to receive. So that's important. It's important to know this stuff, and I'm going to share with you some of that stuff today. So let's look at a simple example, where straightforward, you get 50% of the other spouse's full retirement age benefit amount. So I got a married couple here. And by the way, divorced spouses can also claim a spousal benefit and get 50% of their ex-spouse's full retirement age benefit amount. Now, the only way you're going to get a spousal benefit if your own benefit is less than 50% of your spouse's full retirement age benefit amount. If it's greater than 50% of your spouse's benefit, then Social Security is automatic. When you go to claim, they're automatically going to pay you your own benefit because it's bigger than the spousal benefit. But if your spousal benefit is bigger, and at the time you're entitled to receive it, then they're going to pay you the spousal benefit. Okay, one thing I wanted to mention, in order to claim a spousal benefit, the other spouse must claim their own benefit first if you're a married couple. Now, there's a little difference with divorced spouses, and I'll share that with you in a minute. But so say the wife is going to collect the spousal benefit. She can't do that until her husband actually claims his own benefit based on his work history. All right. So let's look at a simple basic example. John and Mary are the same age. John's full retirement age benefit, let's say it has a full retirement age of 66. If he waits to 66, he'll receive a monthly benefit of $2,000 a month. Now, Mary's full retirement age benefit, we assume they have their same age, have the same full retirement age of 66. Her full retirement age benefit is $500 a month. So if she waits to her full retirement age, we're not talking about the spousal benefit yet, she'd get $500 a month. So let's say they both decide to work until age 66 and then retire and claim Social Security. So John does that. He works to 66, retires, claims his Social Security, and he gets $2,000 a month. Now, Mary also retires at 66 and claims Social Security. And because she's entitled to a spousal benefit, she ends up getting $1,000 a month, which is 50% of John's full retirement age benefit of $2,000. So because she's qualified for a spousal benefit, she doubles her Social Security income. If she wasn't qualified to receive a spousal benefit, she would only receive $500 a month. But because she doubles her monthly income to $1,000 a month. That's pretty cool. That's a good thing. So basically, she's going to receive $6,000 more a year than if she wasn't qualified for the spousal benefit. Now, the amount of the spousal benefit is always based on the other spouse's full retirement age benefit. So again, if the wife's going to receive the spousal benefit, the amount of spousal benefit she'll receive is always based on the husband's full retirement age benefit amount, no matter when he claims his benefit. If he claims his benefit early and it's reduced, it doesn't have an impact on the spousal benefit. If he claims his benefit later, past his full retirement age, and it's increased, it still doesn't affect the spousal benefit because it's still based on his full retirement age benefit amount. Let me show you what I mean. So here's a really good thing, and hardly anybody knows this. I've been showing this slide for, I said I've been presenting for 13 years. And I've been showing this slide for 13 years, and this always really surprises people, but in a positive way. So again, John and Mary, same situation. John and Mary are the same age. John's full retirement age benefit is $2,000 a month. If he waits till his full retirement age, 66, Mary's full retirement age benefit is $500 a month. Now, John may say, you know what? Hey, I'm not waiting until my full retirement age. I worked for 40 years. I paid all my FICA taxes. I'm not taking the chance of waiting to age 66. And what if I die at age 64 and I end up getting nothing? I'm not taking a chance. I'm claiming as early as possible at age 62. And I don't care if they reduce my benefit, which they do. Because John claimed at 62, he doesn't get $2,000 a month. His benefit is reduced to only $1,500 a month. Now, let's say Mary says, you know what, I like my job. I'm going to continue to work to age 66, retire and claim Social Security, which she does. She retires at 66, claims Social Security, and she still gets $1,000 a month because of the spousal benefit. You would think that because John claimed his benefit early and it was reduced to $1,500 a month, then 50% of $1,500 is only $750. And a lot of people would think, well, Mary's only going to get a spousal benefit of $750. No, that is not the case. The fact that John claimed his benefit early has no impact on the size of the spousal benefit that Mary's going to receive. If Mary waits to her full retirement age to claim, she's still going to get 50% of John's full retirement age benefit of $2,000 a month. So she receives $1,000 a month and doubles her income again. Now, that's a really cool thing. Most people don't know that. But it also works the other way if John delays past age 66. So here's an example. To make it easy, we're going to assume that John is 4 years older than Mary in this case. Okay, same benefit amounts, but just John's 4 years older. And he decides to wait to age 70 to claim. And if he waits to age 70, he's not going to get $2,000 a month. Social Security is going to increase his monthly benefit to $2,640 a month. All right. So when John claims at age 70, Mary's 4 years younger and she's 66, and we assume that's her full retirement age. So Mary claims her benefit then. She says, John's retiring at age 70. I'm age 66. I'm going to retire too and claim Social Security. She does, and she still gets $1,000 a month because the fact that John claimed his benefit at age 70 and it was increased to 2640 still doesn't have an impact on the size of the spousal benefit Mary's going to receive. She still gets 50% of this $2,000. But again, it's still a really good deal because Mary's own benefit was only 500, and because of the spousal benefit, she doubled it to $1,000 a month. Now, and this is a misconception that a lot of people have about the spousal benefit. I've run into this many times because this is not an exaggeration. Over the 13 years, I've advised probably over 1,000 people, a lot of them married couples, probably 75% of them married couples. And there's a misperception that if the husband waits until age 70 to claim, then when the wife claims, she's going to get 50% of his age 70 benefit, which would be what, $1,320, 50% of 2640. But that's not the case. She's still only going to get 50% of his full retirement age benefit, 50% of $2,000, which is $1,000. And like I said, it's still a really good deal because her benefit increases from $500 to $1,000. All right, keep that in mind. Now, here's another mistake that people make, and I've run into this a number of times, and this is where a little bit of knowledge sometimes can be dangerous. So again, I have a married couple, John and Mary. Excuse me. This time they're the same age, and John still decides to wait till age 70 so he can maximize the size of his benefit. And by the way, by doing that, he also maximizes the size of the survivor benefit. And I just want to mention that 90%, or excuse me, 95% of all survivor benefit checks are sent to women. So at some point, the survivor benefit is going to play a pretty important role in the life of a woman because the probability is very high that the woman will outlive or the wife will outlive the husband and end up with only the survivor benefit. I'm going to take some time next week talking about that, how to maximize it and why you should consider doing that. But that's next week. But so John's waiting till age 70, but Mary decides, you know what, I'm done at age 66. I want to stop working and I want to claim Social Security. Well, when she claims Social Security, all she could claim in this situation is her own benefit, the $500. She can't claim a spousal benefit at this point because John hasn't claimed his benefit yet. He's going to wait till age 70 and they're the same age. So Mary receives just her own benefit, the $500 for the next 4 years. And then when John claims, she steps up to the full spousal benefit of $1,000. So Mary getting $500 a month, we multiply that by 12, that's $6,000 a year. She collects that for 4 years, so that's $24,000. She gets that before she steps up to the full spousal benefit. And the reason she can step up to the full spousal benefit is because she waited until her full retirement age to claim her own benefit. And because she did that, her own benefit isn't reduced, and neither is the spousal benefit when she switches to it at age 70, when her husband John claims his benefit. Now, the situation I've run into a number of times is married couple. They've done a little bit of research. And one situation I remember just recently, they're both 68 years old. Husband had the bigger benefit. He's going to wait till age 70 to claim it. He's only 2 years away. And the wife says to me, well, I'm going to wait till age 70 so I can get the full spousal benefit, 100% of it. And I said to her, let's say if her name was Mary too, I said, Mary, well, you don't have to wait till age 70 to get some income. You should claim your own benefit now. Her own benefit was about $900. I said, you should claim that, and you're going to get all those monthly benefit payments of $900 a month for the next 2 years. And then when your husband claims, you can still step up to the full spousal benefit. And she says, oh no, Brian, that's not what I read. I've done some research. And she said, from what I understand, if you claim your own benefit prior to the spousal benefit, because your husband hasn't claimed yet, then when you go to switch the spousal benefit later, it's going to be reduced because you already claimed your own benefit. I said, well, Mary, you're right and you're wrong. I said, you would be right if you actually claimed your own benefit prior to your full retirement age. Then your own benefit would be reduced. And then when you switch the spousal benefit later, it would also be reduced. But if you wait till your full retirement age, which you're already past your full retirement age because you're age 68, and you claim your benefit, your benefit isn't reduced. And later on, when you switch to the spousal benefit, that's not going to be reduced either. You're going to get 100%, the full 50% of your husband's full retirement age benefit amount. And so, and here's the other thing I said to her, and this is another thing to keep in mind, that if you delay past your full retirement age, whether it's your own benefit or usually your own benefit in this example, if you delayed past your full retirement age, in this case, Mary was 68 years old. Now, she should have claimed her benefit at age 66, if we assume that was her full retirement age. So she lost 2 years of benefit payments. But I said to Mary, now, when you go to claim at age 68 and you get your $900 a month, you tell Social Security you also want a retroactive lump sum check for 6 months of back payments. Now, they'll only go back a maximum of 6 months. All right. Mary could have claimed 2 years earlier, so she missed 24 months of benefit payments. Social Security is not going to go back to 24 months, but they'll go back 6 months. And I said, you go back 6 months, your monthly benefit is $900. So 6 times that is $5,400. They're going to send you a lump sum check for $5,400. And then going forward, you're going to get your $900 a month, which is going to be close to, over $11,000 a year for the next 2 years. And then you're going to switch to the full spousal benefit at age 70 when John claims his benefit. She was pretty dumbfounded. I was able to make her a lot of money, or at least save her from losing out on that money, because she was going to wait till age 70 to claim the spousal benefit. Anyway, these are nuances about Social Security that you need to know. Now, if Mary was going to wait till age 70 to claim, so let's say $9,000 a month, yeah, it's about let's say 11 grand. So she would have missed 4 years of $11,000 a year, or about $44,000 of payments that she would have left on the table because she misinterpreted something she read on the Social Security website. And a lot of people do that. And believe me, it's a massive website. I mean, I was reading somewhere that they have 100,000 pages on that website. And it's very hard. If you have a specific question, believe me, I've done this. You could search that website for days, well, at least hours anyway, sometimes days. And a lot of people give up before they find an answer to their question because it's so massive and it's so confusing. And sometimes the way they explain things is confusing and people interpret it the wrong way, which is what Mary did, that situation. So anyway, um, so let's look at what happens if Mary claims the spousal benefit early. Because any type of Social Security benefit, if you claim it before your full retirement age, it is going to be reduced. Whether it's your own regular benefit based on your work history, whether it's the spousal benefit, or whether it's the survivor benefit. If you claim any one of those prior to your full retirement age, it's going to be reduced. So John is 4 years older than Mary, okay? Same benefit amounts. He retires at age 66 and claims his benefit gets $2,000 a month. All right. So Mary is 4 years younger than John. And so now she's 62 and she says, well, hey, if John's retiring, I mean, I'm not going to go to work while he's retired. So she decides to retire and claim her Social Security. And she's only going to get a spousal benefit of $700. Why? Because she claimed it early prior to her full retirement age. Now, there's a monthly reduction formula that Social Security uses to determine how much they're going to decrease the size of your benefit. So for every month prior to your full retirement age that you claim, either a spousal benefit, your own regular benefit, or a survivor benefit, it's going to be reduced by a certain percentage for every month you claim prior to your full retirement age. And the percentages are different for your own benefit, the spousal benefit, or the survivor benefit. But basically, the longer or the further you claim prior to your full retirement age, the bigger the reduction. The closer you get to your full retirement age, if you claim early, like if Mary claimed at 65, that spousal benefit might be, $850 or whatever, because she claimed at 65 as opposed to age 62. So in this case, she only got 35% of John's full retirement age benefit amount. And she's going to receive that for the rest of her life. Now, if she had waited till age 66, she would have gotten the full $1,000. But so that's how it works. And a lot of times it still makes sense for Mary to claim her benefit at 62, even if it's reduced. And I'm gonna go through this next week when I talk about a married couple and how the survivor benefit works. But so tune in for that one as well. So this is where I'm going to show you where if you claim your own benefit prior to your full retirement age, and then later on when your husband claims and you switch to the spousal benefit, you're not going to get the full 50% of your spouse's full retirement age benefit amount. So again, broken record. This time, John and Mary are the same age. John's full retirement age benefit is $2,000. Mary's is $500. John decides to work till age 66, and then he's going to retire, and he's going to get $2,000 when that happens. But Mary, for whatever reason, decides I'm done at 62. She might hate her job or whatever, and just doesn't want to do it anymore. So she retires at 62, and at this point, she can only claim her own benefit, right? Because John hasn't claimed his benefit yet. They're the same age. So she claims her own benefit, and it's reduced to only $350 because she claimed it early at age 62. Now, when John claims at age 66, Mary can switch to the spousal benefit, but because she claimed her own benefit early, now the spousal benefit is going to be reduced, and she only receives $850 a month for the rest of her life. Remember, if she could have claimed the full spousal benefit, she would have received $1,000, but because she claimed her own benefit early, later on, when she switched to the spousal benefit, it's reduced to $850. And Social Security has this funky formula to figure out what that spousal benefit will be. If I showed you what it would probably confuse the heck out of you. But anyway, it's still a good deal. So because Mary jumps from $350 a month to $850 a month, that's a difference of $500 a month. Or if you annualize that, multiply it by 12, that's $6,000 for the year. Her income just jumped by $6,000. And she collected 4 years of these monthly benefit payments of $350. So it's still a good deal. But I just want to go back real quick because remember, in this situation, Mary waited till her full retirement age, got the $500, her full benefit amount. She collected this for the next 4 years, $24,000, and then when John claims, she switched to the full spousal benefit, and the reason was because she waited till her full retirement age to claim her own benefit. Her own benefit wasn't reduced, and when she switched to the spousal benefit, it wasn't reduced either. Now, that's different from claiming prior to your full retirement age, her own benefits reduced, and later when she switches to the spousal benefit, it's also going to be reduced. So that's the difference, claiming prior to your full retirement age and then having the later switch to the spousal benefit, as opposed to waiting to your full retirement age and switching to the spousal benefit later when your husband claims. All right, so I want to give you this example because over the years, again, I've advised a lot of people, mostly married couples, but I've also advised divorcees, widows and widowers, and single people. By the way, while I'm talking, if you have any questions, I think you can write something in the chat box. Ask me a question, and I'll take a few minutes at the end of this and answer those questions. So if anything's come up and you have a question, put it in the chat box, and I'll address it. I'm almost done. So here we have a situation, and I've run into this a number of times. I still work with a lot of financial advisors, and financial advisors, they like to know more about Social Security, but most of them don't. And the reason is because it's a very complicated subject. There's all kinds of nuances, whether you're married, divorced, widowed, or single, spousal benefit payments, all this stuff. And so they don't really do it on a regular basis. They get questions from their clients, but what they do is they use me as a resource. And we'll set up meetings. They'll turn it over to me. I'll, based on their clients' dates of birth and benefit information that they provide, I put together some potential claiming strategies for them, sit down with them, find out what's important, and help them pick the best strategy for them. I've done this a couple thousand times. I really like doing it. So I'll come in and, a married couple might come in situations where one of the spouses, it's been my experience, usually the husband has a very big benefit and he made a very good living. And usually the wife, based on my experience, the wife didn't really have to work and she didn't qualify for Social Security. Her benefit is zero. So they'll come in, they'll sit down, and the husband will say to me, "Well, Brian, we're just gonna talk about my benefit and what we should do with it because my wife's benefit is zero. She's not gonna get any Social Security." And I say, "Oh no, your wife is gonna get she can get a spousal benefit and still get up to 50% of your full retirement age benefit." It's like, what? I go, yeah. So if you both wait till 66, like here, he claims and he gets $2,000 a month. Your wife, even though she never qualified for Social Security, she's still going to get a spousal benefit, 50% of your $2,000, $1,000 a month. Now, if he had no idea and she had no idea that they qualify for spousal benefit, and I'm sure that had they not talked to me, he would have gone back. It's pretty straightforward to claim your benefit online. He would have probably done that, got his $2,000 and thinking he's done. Now, if Mary doesn't claim a spousal benefit at age 66, I mean, her life expectancy now is age 86, because the longer you live, the farther out you push it. And that's part of my presentation next week. I'll show you how that works. So let's say she were to live to age 66, or excuse me, age 86, and she never claimed this spousal benefit. Well, $1,000 a month is $12,000 a year. And, after 10 years, had she not claimed it, now she's 76, that's $120,000 in lost benefit. And if she goes 20 years to age 86, that's $240,000 in lost benefits. That's $250,000. People scoff at me when I say, look, if you don't get every dime of benefit you're entitled to, you could end up losing hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost benefits over your retirement lifetime. I say, Brian, come on. I say, look, if you miss a benefit, if you don't get 100, maximize your benefit or whatever, especially like the spousal benefit, and you leave money on the table and you live for 15 or 20 or 25 or 30 years in retirement, that adds up to a lot of money in lost benefits. So you really need to know what your options are. And, so you get every dime of benefit you're entitled to. Otherwise, you could. And I know it's pretty complicated. I just hit you with a lot of stuff, and your head may be spinning because there's a lot of different nuances to the spousal benefit. It's not straightforward. It's not just, hey, 50% of my husband's benefit amount, no matter when I claim. No, it really depends on absolutely when you claim your benefit. That determines the size of your spousal benefit. Now, again, this just reinforces what I just said. There are a number of different ways to claim it. Each one will have an effect on the amount of the spousal benefit that you'll receive. When to claim the spousal benefit can be very confusing. You don't do it the right way and you leave some money on the table, it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars in lost benefits over your retirement lifetime. Actually, it could very easily end up costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost benefits. And if you make the wrong decision, you'll have to live with it for the rest of your life. You actually have up to 1 year to change your mind, but you'd have to pay back whatever benefits you receive. But most people don't know that, and they make a decision and boom, basically that's it. They have to live with it for the rest of their life, whether they made a good one or a bad one. So it's important that all your options before you claim. And one thing I want to caution you on, and I run into this all the time, especially with financial advisors. I mean, I still do a bunch of work with them and their clients. And I do these big meetings, some of these conferences, and up on the main stage, and you got 300-400 financial advisors in the audience. It's cool. It's got a good energy when there's that many people. You get pumped up, your adrenaline gets going. When I get done, there's usually some kind of coffee break or something, and then people will stand in line to ask me questions. Now, these are financial advisors. There might be 25 of them. And I got to tell you, honestly, about half the questions I get, because there's a lot of older financial advisors, in their late 50s, early 60s. Half the questions I get are about their own personal situation. Brian, here's my benefit amount. Here's my date of birth. Here's my wife's. What should we do? And I'll take a few minutes and I'll say, here's what I think you should do. But then I ask them, I say, hey, you know what? If you're in your early 60s, I imagine you have a lot of clients in their early 60s. And I imagine they ask you about Social Security. What do you tell them? They say, well, I don't feel qualified to advise them on Social Security. So I tell them to make an appointment at their local Social Security office and go in and ask them, because they work for Social Security. I said, yeah, that's a really, really bad plan. And that's really, really bad advice. And unfortunately, people that have been familiar with Social Security in the business for a while, and I've run into this a number of times where I've advised clients, Social Security customer service employees give out incomplete and wrong information all the time. It's a huge, huge problem. It really is. And, some other experts, college professors with PhDs that are experts on Social Security, say that on average, Social Security gives out incomplete or wrong information 50% of the time. Now, you might say, all right, that's just anecdotal stuff. These college professors are making educated guesses. Is there any concrete evidence? And there is. And actually, it comes right from the Social Security Administration itself. About 3.5 years ago, Social Security did an internal audit on its own customer service employees. And here's what they found. Now, keep in mind that 70 million people get a Social Security benefit check every month now. So what they did, they took a small sample size of 13,000 cases, 13,000 people, and they looked at what their customer service employees did in terms of advising them, handling the situation. And what they determined was that in over 11,000 of those cases, or 82% of the time, over 11,000 of those cases, They gave out incomplete or wrong information, and it ended up costing those 11,000 people a cumulative total of $142 million in lost benefits. $142 million. Now, here's the really infuriating part of this. They announced these results. They published them. I guess they had to, or they probably didn't want to, but they had to. They published these results 3.5 years ago, and they haven't done one thing. They haven't reimbursed these people one penny, $1 for the bad advice their employees gave them. So they're just out $142 million. Actually, it's probably $175 million now, because every year that goes by, they lose out on these benefits. They haven't done anything to make them whole. And I guess they just said, yep, our people gave out wrong information, incomplete information. They're incompetent, but these people are just going to have to live with it. And, these 11,000 people, they don't even know that they've been shortchanged. They don't even know that, they got bad advice and their benefit checks should be bigger. So I tell people all the time, look, you need to know what all your options are before you claim your benefits. And don't think you could call Social Security up or go in the Social Security office and ask them, and they're going to give you complete or correct advice. Because if you do that, there's a fairly high probability you're going to end up leaving money on the table. So one of the things I'm going to offer you at the end, if you tune into the next webinar, where do you go to get, good advice that'll give you the confidence of knowing, hey, you've made aware of all your options and are going to get every dime of benefit you're entitled to. There's few places, and you can't go to Social Security. I mean, if you do, it's like flipping a coin. I think you have a 50-50 chance of getting correct and completed advice or information on your options. So at the end of the webinar next week, I'm going to offer you, I've put together a package of materials called the Claim with Confidence package. There's going to be a number of items from a Social Security guide, how to claim it when you go to claim your benefits. I get this question all the time. Brian, what do I do? You can claim online. You can call up the 800 number. It might be on hold for an hour, 2 hours sometimes, or you can set up an appointment at your local Social Security office. This guide will tell you exactly what to expect with each one, and the documentation that you'll need in order to claim your benefits. That's basic nuts and bolts stuff, but I get that question all the time. This guide will tell you exactly what you need and how to go about doing it. It'll be a Medicare guide. I get questions on Medicare all the time. Medicare guide. And the important part there is, you have these Medicare Advantage plans that you see Joe Namath and Jimmy Walker on TV. They give you everything. And there's Medicare supplemental plans. And, that's where a lot of the confusion is. And this kind of walks you through the pros and cons of each. But the centerpiece of the package is my Social Security Claim with Confidence benefit calculator. You just put in a few basic pieces of information, and it'll give you up to 3 potential claiming options or claiming strategies for your particular situation. It'll walk you through with step-by-step instructions about, who claims what benefits when. And if you're qualified for the spousal benefit, it'll automatically make that determination and show you, a couple of different options of when you claim the spousal benefit and, what that will do to the size of that spousal benefit, depending upon when you claim it or when your husband claims, because you can't claim the spousal benefit until he does. It'll automatically make that determination and show you that. It'll also show you how to maximize the survivor benefit. It'll also show you break-even ages. How long, if I wait, Brian, how long will it take me to break even and make up for the income I could have earned because I could have claimed earlier? It'll do all that for you. That's the exact tool you need in order to make sure you're aware of all your options and make the best claiming decision for your personal situation. So that's going to be around next week. I'm going to give it to you in a credible price. It'd be well worth it. And if you don't like it, you got a 90-day money back guarantee. Just let us know and we'll send you back your money, no questions asked. But I'm pretty sure, actually, I'm very confident you're going to like it. And, I put this Social Security calculator together based on these 2,000 plus meetings I've had over the last 13 years with clients and getting all this information from real life experience of what they're really interested in, people in general. I think you'll find it incredibly useful. All right. So Looks like I might have one question in the chat box here. Let's see what I got. All right. Oh, so one thing I want to mention, this question is about divorces. Divorcees, if their own benefit is less than 50% of the ex-spouse's benefit amount, they can claim a spousal benefit and get up to 50% of his full retirement age benefit. But you have to be qualified to do it. In order to do that, you had to have been married for at least 10 years before the divorce, and you can never remarry. You can't remarry and still claim a spousal benefit. So at least married for 10 years before the divorce. And let me tell you, Social Security is a stickler about that. In one of my previous webinars, one woman, she didn't really ask a question. She just wrote in, says, I was married for 9.5 years, so 6 months short of 10 years before we got a divorce, and Social Security will not let me claim a spousal benefit and get 50% of my ex-spouse's full retirement age benefit amount. And I said, yeah. I mean, if you were married for 9 years and 11 months, they still wouldn't let you do it. You got to be married for at least 10 years before the divorce. And in order to get the spousal benefit. And, and if let's say you get a divorce, you were married for 10 years and you haven't remarried, and you get a spousal benefit based on your ex-spouse's benefit amount. But then if later, after you're receiving that spousal benefit, if you remarry, Social Security will stop sending you that spousal benefit. Now, with your new husband or new whatever wife, if you married for 1 year, you can collect a spousal benefit based on your new spouse's benefit amount. All right. So let me get to this question. I know the stuff can be confusing. Let me see here. So this is from Iman. As a divorcee, can I claim spousal benefit before he claims his? That's a great question, because here's something that's different from divorced spouses and married spouses, and it's actually in favor of divorced spouses, because if you're married, you cannot claim a spousal benefit until, let's say it's the wife that's going to claim the spousal benefit. You cannot claim a spousal benefit, like I said, until your husband claims his own benefit first. But if you're divorced and you were married for at least 10 years and you never remarried, you can claim a spousal benefit based on your ex-spouse's benefit amount. And if you've been divorced for at least 2 years, your ex-spouse doesn't actually have to be receiving his benefit. He doesn't have to already claim it. You can claim a spousal benefit if your ex-spouse is just eligible to claim. He hasn't claimed it, but he's eligible to claim. So if your ex-spouse is age 62 or older, let's say your ex-spouse is the husband, you are still eligible to claim the spousal benefit, even though he hasn't claimed his benefit. All right. So again, in order to do that, you had to have been married for at least 10 years before the divorce, never remarried, and you had to have already been divorced for at least 2 years. All right. So the second part of the question is, and this is a good question, can I claim a spousal benefit at 62 when I am still working? And yeah, you can. But if you claim any Social Security benefit prior to your full retirement age, and you're still working, you'll be subjected to the earnings test. And if you make too much money, you're going to have to start giving back some of your Social Security benefits. So if you claim a spousal benefit at age 62 and you continue to work, the earnings limit in 2023 is $21,240. If you have earned income in excess of that amount, and I'm only talking earned income, I'm not talking investment income, capital gains, if you have rental properties, none of that. Only money you make from a job. If your earned income exceeds $21,240, then for every $2 of earned income in excess of that amount, you're going to have to give back $1 of received Social Security benefit payments. And it wouldn't take you long to give back most of your benefits. So if you keep your earned income under $21,240 and you claim prior to your full retirement age and continue to work, you won't have to give back any of the received benefits. So keep that in mind. And you don't end up losing those benefits forever, but it's most people, if they're going to have earnings in excess of the earnings test, they're probably going to hold off claiming to a later age. And once you hit your full retirement age, you can claim your benefits, continue to work, make as much money as you want, and you'll never have to give back any of your received benefits. So once you reach your full retirement age, the earnings test no longer applies. All right, that's an important point too. All right, let's see. Another question is, as a divorcee, do I combine both benefits as a divorcee, or it's either mine or his? And this is the way it is with married couples as well. When it comes to the spousal benefit, so if you have your own benefit, Social Security considers, and your own benefit is less than one half of your ex or your either spouse's or ex-spouse's benefit amount. Social Security considers the benefit amount that they pay you. Like before, I had the example with Mary's own benefit was 500, and if she got a spousal benefit, let's say she waited to her full retirement age, she'd get $1,000, right? So Social Security considers Mary's benefit payment of $1,000 to be $500 of her own benefit and $500 of the spousal benefit. That's just the way they do it. You said I receive alimony. Does it stop when I receive spousal benefits? That I don't know. I'm not a divorce lawyer, but I know of some cases where they might pay a certain amount of alimony. It's probably written in the divorce agreement, and then once you hit, you take Social Security, they might reduce the alimony by your Social Security. But I think that's a legal thing, and that's not always the case. But I'm not a divorce lawyer. All right, let's see. Here's one from DMT. My husband is 68 and drawing his Social Security now. I am 60 and would like to draw when I turn 62. What percentage will I get? So if you're going to get a spousal benefit, it's probably going to be around 32% of your husband's benefit amount, because you're claiming it early. It's probably going to be right around there. You're not going to get 50% for sure. It's probably be around 32.5%, something like that. Tina asks, so you cannot claim your benefit and your ex-spouse's benefit. The only thing, so like I said, if your benefit is less than 50% of his, and you claim a spousal benefit, they're going to increase. It's going to be bigger than your own benefit, then you get a spousal benefit. And technically, from a Social Security standpoint, they consider that amount a combination of your own benefit plus the spousal benefit. But you wouldn't be able to claim, let's say Mary's benefit was $500. And I think what you're asking, could she claim that and then also get a spousal benefit for $1,000, which, would mean if you add those two together, would be $1,500. And the answer to that is no, that's not the way it works. Social Security will look at your benefit or the spousal benefit, whichever is the bigger amount, that's the amount you're going to receive, but they won't add them together. Iman said, thank you for answering my questions. You're right. Tina, if my benefit is the full amount and so is his. Yeah, so if you're saying if your benefit is bigger than 50% of his, then you're just going to get your benefit, and so will he. No spousal benefit will come into play. All right, let me see. Let me give you a quick answer to the one question I get all the time, and then we'll end it. Traveling around for the last 13 years, by far, overwhelmingly, the number one question I get if I'm doing live presentations or webinars, opening up for a couple questions, is, Brian, how much longer do you think Social Security is going to be around? Because isn't it going bankrupt? And if I'm doing a live presentation, I look around the room and every head in the room is shaking up and down in agreement. And I think, 98, 99% of people in this country think Social Security is in a lot of trouble financially. And a lot of people think it's going to go bankrupt. And their definition of bankruptcy is that it's going to stop making all benefit payments. Look at that is never going to happen. Too many people are dependent on Social Security for that to happen. In fact, there's probably 15 to 20 million people that collect Social Security, that Social Security, that income makes up over 90% of their income in retirement. So if they didn't have Social Security, they'd be destitute and out on the street. So that is not going to happen, that they go totally bankrupt and stop making payments. So here's what happens. Social Security puts out a report every year. They have their own board of trustees. They're really, a bunch of them are really smart math people, college professors with PhDs. And they put out a report on the condition, the financial condition of Social Security. And the first thing that they'll tell you is what happens if the politicians don't do anything to address the Social Security's long-term funding issue, because they do have a long-term funding issue. If they don't do anything to address it, the Republicans and Democrats can't get together and decide how to fix that funding issue, then in the year 2034, they'll have to reduce everybody's benefits by about 22%. 2034, which is like 10 to 11 years from now. All right. They have to reduce. So instead of getting whatever you're getting at that time, if they have to do this, and I don't think they will, you're only going to end up getting 78% of the benefit you're receiving before they reduced it. Now, here's a critically important point, because too many people think that Social Security is just going to stop making benefit payments. Once they do this, if they reduce your benefit by 22%, they're on sound financial footing and can meet all their benefit obligations through the year 2094. 2094, 70 more years from now. That's the worst case scenario. That's the worst thing that can happen. Now, when push comes to shove, I think they're going to end up fixing the system. I'll give you two really compelling reasons. One, I told you before that 70 million people get a Social Security check every month. By 2034, that's going to be 80 to 85 million people. They tend to be people like me. I'm 65 years old. All right. Older people, we tend to vote. If any, I got to put in my charger here. If any politician votes to drastically cut benefit payments, Social Security benefit payments, they're not going to end up being a politician for very long, because there's just too many people that are, dependent on Social Security for the majority of their income in retirement. And the other point I want to make is I'm going to take you back to 1959 and give you an incredible statistic. In 1959, when we first started keeping accurate statistics on poverty in this country, 35% of all people over the age of 65 in the United States of America lived in poverty. 35%, many millions of people. That percentage has fallen to 9%. That's the lowest percentage for that age demographic in the history of this country, from 35% to 9%. Why? One reason only: Social Security. There's some math geniuses there that crunch the numbers, say that if you took away Social Security, like if they did go bankrupt and stop making all benefit payments, 40% of all people over the age of 65 would live in poverty today. You're talking about they stop making benefit payments, 25 more million people over the age of 65 would join the ranks of poverty. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that isn't going to happen. And if they do end up decreasing benefits, if you're like me in your 60s or late 50s, they'll grandfather us. And any benefit reductions will probably be geared toward younger folks, and they'll phase those in over a period of time. So look, at one way or another, Social Security is going to be around for a very long time. And if you're claiming your benefits at age 62 because you think it's going to go bankrupt and you want to get as much money out before it does, that's not really a good reason to do that. Tina asked me, do I think the maximum benefit will continue to increase? Yeah, it definitely will, because it increases with average wages and also COLA. Once you turn 62, even if you don't claim your benefits, you still benefit from COLA increases. Like this year, the COLA increase was 8.7%. So if somebody was delaying from age 62 to age 63, they get a minimum guarantee increase of about 7%. And then they get the 8.7% COLA increase on top of it. So that's a 15, almost a 16% increase just by delaying 1 year. So yeah, that maximum benefit's going to continue to go up for sure. All right, one more question and then we'll close it up. What is the paperwork you need to do, and at what age to get your benefits ready to pay? I can get full benefits at age 67. Um, so you get, I think this is Tina. Tina, you or anybody, you can just go online. There's an application that you fill out, and you can do it up to 4 months prior to when you want your benefits to start. And it's probably a good idea to do that because, it takes Social Security about 6 to 8 weeks to process your application. So you can go online 4 months prior, say you want your benefits to start, 4 months later. And also, like, if your birthday that month is past the first of the month, you're not going to receive your first payment that month. You're going to receive it the next month. Okay. Um, you can get full benefits at age 67. Your benefit won't be reduced, but keep in mind, for every year you delay past age 67 up to age 70, you get a minimum guaranteed increase of 8%. I say minimum because if there's any COLA increases on top of that, while you're delaying past your full retirement age, you get the 8% plus any COLA increase. And that would happen all the way up to age 70. Now, you wouldn't want to wait any longer after age 70 because your benefit doesn't increase after that. But your benefit will go up if you delay claiming it past your full retirement age by a minimum of 8%. It'll probably be much higher than that if there's any amount of inflation. Can I still get full benefits at 67 and continue to work? Yes, you can. Once you hit your full retirement age, you're no longer subjected to that earnings test that I went over before. If you made over $21,240, you have to start giving back benefits. Once you hit your full retirement age, you're no longer subjected to that. The earnings test goes away. You can collect your benefits, make as much money as you want. You can make a couple $1,000,000, and you'll never have to give back one dime of Social Security benefits that you've received. That happens when you hit your full retirement age and later. Claim before that, and you're going to be subjected to that earnings test. Okay, everybody. Great questions. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to tune in next week, especially if you're a woman. We're going to go over why Social Security is a bigger issue for women and some things that are critical that you know before you claim your benefits. So hope to see you on those calls next week. I think they're going to be either Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Thank you. Amazing from Tina. All right. I appreciate that, Tina. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.